So you've booked in your first therapy session and now you might be wondering what's going to happen. Well, this short video will hopefully give you a brief explanation of what you can expect. A good therapist will understand how nervous and anxious you might be for the first session. So typically we'll spend a few minutes making some small talk just to help get us into the flow of the session. Next, we'll ease our way into the session by asking what it is that you find difficult. Perhaps you've given some background information to your therapist already, but now we're going to start exploring it in far more detail. I don't expect my clients to have most of the answers or even some answers in the first session. But if you have a rough idea of the things which you're finding difficult or problematic in your life, that can really help us develop the session. So as we go into more detail in the session, clearly that will involve you doing a lot of the talking, which can be weird and difficult at first. You're speaking in front of a complete stranger about some of the most intricate difficulties you could possibly experience. But a good therapist will understand that, and if you're feeling uncomfortable, then we can take over the spotlight until you're ready to continue. It's really important to try to be as honest and open as possible. And one thing to remember is that as therapists, we've heard and seen probably anything and everything. So don't feel embarrassed about opening up or about discussing anything secretive, because everything you tell us is confidential. This isn't a lecture and you're not at school, so you shouldn't be made to feel as if you're being talked down to by the therapist or being put on the spot too much. But understandably, questions will be asked to help us resolve the problem. We want the session to be as free-flowing as possible, and of course if you have questions at the end of the session or if you need anything clarifying, you should absolutely be allowed to do that. So even though the first session can be quite difficult and overwhelming, you should definitely be leaving this session feeling better than when you arrived, and with an idea of what you can expect in the next session.